Hey guys, Marmalade here with Marmalade Outdoors, and are you planning your very first overnight backpacking trip? Well, I have created a 10-step plan to help you do that. So let's get to number one. Okay, number one is pretty obvious, but you have to choose a hike, right? So go online. There's plenty of websites and blogs and things like that online. There's even apps you can use to find hikes, to find one that matches your skill level and something that you're comfortable with. All right. Number two is semi-obvious, but now that you've picked the hike, you need to research it, right? Once you find some places to research it, you need to find out more about it. Is it a beginner, intermediate, advanced hike? Is it an out and back, a loop, or maybe you have to get a hitch or get a ride or arrange a ride back to where you started, things like that. Next, you want to check out the distance, the elevation, and the overall time you'll be out there for days, but also how many miles you're doing per day. Are there fees involved for things like campsites or even permits? You're going to also have to know how far away the hike is from obviously where you live. Will you need some kind of public transportation or flights, things like that? I've done things where when you travel far, you're going to have to arrange hotels to stay in the night before and maybe the night after. Is there water and campsites along the way? And if so, you need to find out where they are. That's how you plan out your route. So you need to find out what mile markers along the trail they are and what your comfortable range is, and then plan accordingly. What season will you be hiking in, and what are the highs and lows? Will there be rain, snow, excessive heat, things like that? You know, the way you pack and the miles you cover will greatly be fluctuating depending on the weather. So, how do you find all this stuff? Like I said before, go online, find it. There's so many websites and there's so many blogs, things like that. One of the things I didn't mention was you can go on websites for the Forest Service and state parks and all that stuff. So, if you're in any kind of wilderness area or state park, I've got a lot of my information from there. And I've called many ranger stations, and maybe I can't find the right temperatures or the snow level or the this or the that. I'll just call them, and they're in the wintertime, in the off seasons, or even spring. They're slow until it gets busy for hiker season. So they're kind of doing nothing. So they're really happy to talk to you. And then lastly, go to YouTube and watch wonderful videos about your area you want to go to, like this video that you're watching right now. The third thing you need to do is choose a date. Obviously, this has to do with your personal schedule, work, or if you're retired, then you have more time, but like your personal schedule, when you can fit it in. But it's what dictates when you're going more than anything is the area you're picking and the weather. The weather is everything. So obviously, there's certain trails like the Sierra, the prime time is July. You can do sometimes June, but July, August, September. So you get 3 good months. So that kind of dictates if you want to do anything in this area, that's when you have to go. If you're looking for a more solitary experience, maybe do this during the prime times when people are backpacking and hiking. The weekend, especially if you're only doing a 2 or 3 day trip. Um, a lot of the weekends are really busy on the trails and the campsites are full, and it's like you're out in the wilderness, but you're not really because you're just door to door with other people. So maybe consider if you're doing a shorter trip, 2 to 5 or 6, 7 days, either starting on a Sunday and go through the whole week, or just doing midweek. You'll find that in a lot of these places that are popular, it's a lot less crowded. All right, number four is now it's time to book it. That means you got to pay for those campsites, permits, transportation, even hotels, things like that. I mentioned this earlier, but if you are traveling farther away, uh, way ahead of time, when you know you're going to be going, book your hotel and your flights, things like that, way ahead of time. It gives you peace of mind, but it also saves you a lot of money. Like I said, like if you travel all day, you're not going to get on trail. You're going to be exhausted. You're not going to hike that day. So go, give yourself a night off, get cleaned up, and get going. I've even done a zero. When I've traveled a long way, a zero is when I get there today, stay the night, and instead of starting tomorrow, I take a whole nother day off, and so I pay for another hotel room this the night two, and then I get going. So just keep that in mind depending on how far you're traveling, especially if it's out of country. All right, number five is your fitness. So now that it's planned and it's booked, and we're assuming you have a little time before your start, evaluate your fitness. Be honest, okay? Depending on your age, I'm older, but if you're younger, maybe you still haven't hiked for a while, or at least backpacked. So this is your first trip, and you want to enjoy it, especially if it's going to be multiple nights and it's going to be pretty rigorous. I would say get into shape. If it's going to be quick overnight and you're only hiking 2 miles out and back, you probably don't have to get in shape. But evaluate yourself. What I'd say is if you're going to try to get in shape for whatever you're going to do, try to mix it up and not do the same thing all the time. Not just hike or not just go to the gym, but do a little bit of everything. If you need to get yourself in shape before this trip, I recommend when you start doing day hikes and training with your backpack, not to put full weight in at the beginning. Put a few things in there and some snacks and bottles of water. Maybe it's 10, 15 pounds, and go on your hike and do that a few days, and slowly add a piece of gear and slowly work up to yourself until you have a full pack. You want to get on the trail and not have your pack be the weight and the pack be foreign to you. Just it'll be just like another day backpacking. Okay, number 6 is something I do every single backpacking trip, even if it's just hiking 1 mile out on the PCT and camping, come back. I make a gear list. It does a couple things, so you don't miss something very important you need out there, and also gives you peace of mind. I know that when I get to the trailhead, I've got everything. I don't have to worry about it. Once it's in the pack, you can't see it. So make a gear list, and I break mine down. You can do it however you want. You can make a list. Some people are really organized and make it on Excel spreadsheet and all that. I don't do that, but I have a notebook, and so I'll even look at my past hikes to remind myself of what I brought. But I have a one piece of paper, like the front piece of paper, and I put in one column gear, one is clothing, and then at the bottom is all the accessories and assortment stuff that don't really fall under gear or clothing. So if you don't have all your gear together yet, or you're still purchasing it, do what I do. I watched it I still do it now, but when I was newer at hiking, I watched a lot of gearless videos. People that were getting ready to do any kind of hike, it didn't matter, but like the PCT and the Appalachian Trail, that kind of stuff. I'd watch gear lists. They just show everything they're bringing. Also, I paid attention when I hike with other people, because when I was new at this, I didn't know anything, and almost everybody around me knew more than me. So I I would see this or see that or see it in a video and go, oh, that makes sense, and I would do that, and things that made sense to me. Then there's some trial and error, but mainly, if you don't have everything yet, don't just go to the store and buy random stuff. Like, maybe watch some gear videos and have it make sense, and make sure that everything you need is kind of covered in some way or the other. All right, number 7 is create a food plan. So, for argument's sake, let's say you're doing 3 days and 2 nights, which is what like a lot of people do. You don't just kind of go, you know what, I'm gonna bring some dinners and lunches. I literally write out, okay, so day one, I need, and a lot of times on day one, you don't need a breakfast. You eat it at home or you eat it on the road, and you don't want to carry food you don't need. It's very heavy. So on day one, let's say you arrive at the trail at 9 in the morning, don't bring a breakfast because you can't eat it. Eat it ahead of time, and then you need your lunch or snacks for the day, your dinner, whatever electrolytes, things like that you need, coffee. I guess coffee's for the morning. So but all that for one day, and then for day two is a full day, so you'll need breakfast, your coffee, if that's what you drink, and all your snacks and your dinner. And on day three, maybe you need breakfast and your snacks, but you're going to get to the car at 2 in the afternoon, so you don't need a dinner. So literally write out, what I do is I'll write 3 days 2 nights, and I'll write day one, and I'll write I need a lunch. I don't eat lunch. I just snack all day, so I'll say snacks for the day and dinner, and I'll even have a little bit of candy for a treat, just for something to kind of a reward for having a long day. But I don't bring a breakfast. And day two, and then at the end of my list, I'll have, okay, I need 2 breakfasts, I need 2 dinners, I need 3 days of snacks, I need 2 days of coffee and electrolytes for all three. And then so that way exactly and just bring what you need. Don't bring extra. Um, some people will bring like an extra ramen or just one extra thing in case they get stuck out there for an extra half a day or day. They have something to eat. I find that I lose my appetite, so I got my food refined and I still don't eat it all. So I'd be good if I stayed out there another day or two. So yeah, just make a food plan and be organized. And once again, it'll give you peace of mind, and you'll know that you have what you need, but nothing extra. I was just thinking I should add on to that. Again, I've gone back to this a bunch, but go watch some YouTube videos. I watch gear videos and I watch food videos, because I've now since completed the PCT and a lot of other trails, and I have gotten sick of a lot of stuff. So I will watch videos, and whether people hand make food or buy it, but just for the United States anyway, we pretty much sell most of the same stuff in all the stores. So that's my way when I've kind of gotten sick of a lot of breakfast things. So I'm looking for new things. So I watch videos all the time, even to this day, to try to get new ideas for food. So do that and maybe get a variation. Another tip I'll tell you about food, that's one of the secrets I learned that I didn't know at the beginning, and it's from failing so much, is when you go on a 3-day trip or 5, doesn't matter, try not to bring the same food every day. Like some people buy, like 5 things of cheese and crackers and 5 things of nuts and 5 things, and it ends up you eat the same thing all day every day, and you'll get sick of it. So try to have a variation of food if you can. Okay, number 8 is knowing your hiking etiquette. There are so many people on trail that get out there and have no idea what to do, and it's kind of like driving, right? Knowing the right of ways. So know your etiquette, but the main thing you need to know is leave no trace. And you can look it up anywhere, watch videos on it. It'll tell you the 7 principles. But it basically means that everything you bring in, you bring out. You don't leave anything besides footprints. Oh, an addendum to that is just, I think it's common sense, right? Be respectful to other people, your noise level. I've had it where I have a solitary camp spot by a river or something, and I have the perfect spot, and people come right next to me and camp, don't ask, whatever. Their tent's almost touching my tent, and they're loud, playing music, and it's like I wasn't even there. So be responsible and respectful. And if there's only a couple campsites, and they say somebody's there, and you need to camp there, ask nicely, right? It's just showing respect. They're almost never going to say no to you because it's not their property, but it's just showing you respect. Somebody had set up a place there because they wanted to be by themselves, and sometimes there's not enough spots and you have to camp there. I've done that, and I just asked very kindly, hey, do you mind if I camp here? There's nowhere else for 3 more miles to camp, and they usually will say yes every time, and I've had it happen to me. I've said yes to many people. All right, number 9 is create an itinerary and your final plans. This means create it on. You can write it on on your computer, on a piece of paper, whatever. But write it all out. Where you're going every day, where you're camping. Obviously, you might go shorter or farther, but write out your whole plan and bring it with you. You can do it in your phone so you don't have a piece of paper. And then the other more important thing is to give it to other people, your loved ones. Give it to anybody, because if you go missing and you don't leave one of those, they'll kind of know where you are, kind of not. And most people that disappear, die, or get lost are not on the main trail they were supposed to be on. But if they know where you're supposed to be each day, they can start there and they get a better chance of finding you if you do get hurt and fall off a cliff somewhere. So make sure you do that. Once again, if it's a longer trip, it's nice to have that itinerary, because after a while, after 2 or 3 days, you kind of forget, okay, where are we supposed to camp and how many miles are we supposed to do and all that stuff. So yeah, just do that. And once again, it's for peace of mind and safety. And as always, I thought of one more thing, but you can also add your daily, if it's going to be like just 3 or 4 days, you could add, when you look at the extended weather, you could put the highs and lows on there too of your list, just so you not kind of know what to expect. All right, number 10 is it's time for your very first overnight trip. Hopefully, this will give you the confidence to know that you're as prepared as possible for your first night overnight or multiple nights. And like I said, these tips are to be well planned, but to be comfortable and also safe. To know that you're going to be okay. You've created the itinerary that your family members or loved ones will have, so they know where you are in case something were to happen. And that's the best you can do. Now, remember, as you do your overnights, I went with groups when I was new, and then after I got a hang of it, I thought I knew what I was doing, even though I didn't. But I started going out by myself all the time because I like going at my own pace. I like to make vlogs of my videos, so like I wanted to stop and take pictures and videos and things like that. And sometimes the group would just leave me. So I was with a group, when I was new, but I ended up just being by myself. So um, you'll learn as you go, and you're going to make mistakes. I made a million mistakes, and learn out what gear works for you and what doesn't. And every time you do it, you're honing in what is the best setup for you. It's going to be different for everybody else, but it's going to be the best setup for you. That's why there's so much gear. I always say that it's like if there was the best pack and the best tent and all that stuff and best shoes, we would all buy the same thing. But we're all different, and we all like different things. So experiment with things, watch videos. If you get done with the first trip and you made some mistakes, or you wish you would have brought this, or this didn't work out very well, watch some more videos, ask friends that hike if you have some, and just slowly hone it to where it should be. I hope this helps you. I enjoyed making this and sharing some of my knowledge, some of my experience. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Really important, hit the notification bell. That helps put it out to more people. And hit that notification bell in the upper right if you want to be notified every time I have a new video. And for now, that's it. We'll definitely see you down the trail. And Marmalade is out.